Hi, I'm Adam Spade, composer for the movie Beta Test, which is a short film that was created for a contest on Infowars.com. I wasn't actually familiar with Infowars.com prior to working on this film, but I figured with a $100,000 grand prize, who cares, right? The music coming in here is the basic theme for the movie. When you read a script for the first time, it's the most impressionable. I like to take my raw feelings and the mood that the story leaves me with and build my theme on that emotion before the brain takes over and complicates everything. And this is all good in theory, but realistically, that way of doing things doesn't always work out because there may not actually be a place for that piece of music in the film. But it does still provide a basis for the rest of your writing, for the rest of the score. And in this case, I was fortunate because the piece did work out. I got to use it. It was good. The mood of this film is from a time in the future of the United States where our freedom, everything that this country stands for and has fought for to be, is lost. It's a time where ex-military become secret freedom fighters and are up against these drones controlled by different organizations within and around the United States government. It's very depressing, eerie, and it's an evil time that I wanted to capture even with the very first key that I touched on the piano. I wanted that vibration to carry over. This next part here, I really wanted to have something unique to build on. I wanted to do something off-timing and experimental. You hear this really behaves like an explosion, and you can hear the hi-hat wind down. What I had in mind actually was I was thinking of the Big Bang that sparked our universe and how all of the energy in the universe is balanced up until the point where the explosion comes to a halt, in which the universe would, at that point, come apart. So it's like a countdown, and I believe that feeling or fear of impending doom carries on into that scene where the protagonist is tied up in the trunk as well. And it was a good foundation for the following action sequence as well. From there, I would just need to, add the instruments and arrange the percussion to fit the action sequence. It's made things easy for me. You are not okay. You are messed up in the head. And there's a shameless plug for Infowars.com. Now, that guitar you hear is an Ibanez 8-string guitar, and this is the first time I've had the chance to work with one. It took me a while to dial in the sound. I'm actually playing that through a Line 6 Pod XT Pro, and the reason I do that is because of time constraints. I don't necessarily want to take the time to set up a couple mics to record a live cab every time, because if I need to go back and fix something, chances are it won't sound the same. With the Pod, I can create my sound before I start recording and save it to my computer, pull it up, and bang, start recording again. And I'm not exactly ashamed of the sound I got out of it either. It gets the job done. Glub, glub, glub. I was actually surprised when I first saw this. That is the director, Craig, talking, and I had never actually met Craig in person, but I had talked to him over the phone and we had become friends. So when I heard his voice, it kind of made me laugh and say, "Hey, that's Craig." And I was surprised again, because he's actually really natural on camera. He did a great job. But a few times throughout the interrogation, he says this line, "Start talking. Start talking." And and when I talked to him first after watching that, I just had this urge to interrogate him with my questions about the film. But maybe more a bit like Al Pacino in Heat, though. "Give me all you got! Give me all you got!" And but yeah, that just made me laugh. You have to keep your edge, you know. You gotta keep sharp when you're making movies. This flick was created within a very short time frame. So when Craig Murray, the director, called me up and we had our first initial discussion, I knew I would probably be left with 5 days or less to create, write, record, and mix the entire score into a finished product. Of course, 2 days into it, I get a call from the editor and he says they need it the following day to make sure they have time to mix the audio and render everything. And at that point, I hadn't even seen the whole movie yet. There were black sections of video that the text would say "car drives by," you know. And that's just kind of the way it goes. So with a contest like this, I knew what I was getting myself into. And since this whole movie plays out like a dream, what I did prior to even seeing any footage, I had created a Pro Tools session with all of my instruments preloaded so I could just score the entire movie from start to finish within one session. It ended up being like a Dark Side of the Moon experimental track, which I'd never done anything like that, but it was kind of exciting. It was fun. But that way of doing things may not work for every kind of movie. It just so happens that this whole movie is a dream, and the director, Craig, wanted to keep the intensity up. So the idea of doing everything in one session worked, and so I concentrated most of my efforts in the main areas that needed to be scored, and then in between I actually created this arpeggio that you can hear running through the entire, literally runs through almost the whole film. It's like 18 minutes long, I think, and the entire film's like 22 minutes. And this thing just runs and runs. But I have some automated plugins on it, and I mainly just modify it to make it work with each part. And I just accent it with percussion and maybe there's a little acoustic guitar that pops in. And that worked. With the time constraint, you have to figure out a way to accomplish what you need to accomplish efficiently, and I do believe we did that. I was very happy with the score I ended up producing within literally about 3 days. That's my favorite line from her. I was really impressed with the actors. The director was so busy trying to keep up with all the business stuff that he didn't even have the script ready the night before, so he sent it to me, and I stayed up until like 6 in the morning working on the dialogue to try and help bring out the characters some more. These actors never even got the script until the first day of shooting, and yeah, there's mistakes and issues, areas that could have been better with more time to work on it, but everything seemed to be more improv and natural, so it really turned out great. And I applaud these actors. They did a fantastic job. And some of these guys, I believe this is their very first film, which is even more impressive. And that guy's voice is chilling. It sounds awesome. Are you ready to die? That's funny. And getting messages from Craig. He's wanting to know if I'm gonna get the commentary done. I think. Maybe not, but he'll just have to wait. I think at this point the protagonist is about to go crazy, if he isn't already. Hey, wake up, buddy. This is another chance for me to use the theme, and I just took the piano part from it and put this here. It brings back that depressing mood again. I don't actually know who that little girl is, but she's really cute. She did a good job. little part where the little girl is banging on the window is where there's supposed to actually be a piano hit, and because of doing everything on one track and everybody in such a rush, it ended up being about 1 second late. And by the end of the film, you can actually hear where it's supposed to end and where they actually filled in the rest of it, because there was more video than I had actually made music for. There was like 2 seconds where they actually used an effect to fill in the rest. It's kind of funny. But, you know, ideally what you want to have is the whole film in front of you, so you can score that, so you can see what's going on. But it just doesn't always happen that way. So you just have to kind of roll with the punches. Yeah, I would too, buddy. That's probably my favorite line from Mason there. It's just funny. I love how he delivers his lines. He's really got a nice comical but, you know, big guy character that comes out that he portrays. It's nice. It's funny. He lightens up the production well. Comic relief, right? Christopher Van Meter has such a strong American look that is just perfect for Lee. He really looks the part. You can see he's looking a little disgruntled there. This is the part where he goes into the change, and I didn't want to change much here. It just gets a bit eerie, but right now there is actually low strings coming in. It's very much like a horror film there. The idea was that I didn't want to grab the viewer's attention right there, but I really wanted to ease them into this transition for the build-up, because I wanted to reserve that chill up their spine. I think that was an important part for this. About to hear the big finish here, the high point. You can actually hear the strings drop out a couple seconds before the the actual ending is supposed to be. And right there it cut out. So they had to fill in the rest with sound effects. And it turned out good, it works, so. But that was just kind of the result of doing everything on one track with such little time. So the score ends with the theme again, and which keeps the mood going. And for a short, that's great, because it keeps that mood for the entire film. And so, anyways, I hope you liked the music in the movie Beta Test, and I hope you liked the movie as well. And I'm Adam Spade. Thanks for listening to this. It's very cool. And if you would like to hear more music from me, or even contact me, you can do so on my website. It's adamspade.com. And I look forward to hearing from you guys, and especially filmmakers. Wish you all the best. It's a great, big, scary business, but I think we all love it. And, happy filmmaking. Take care.
And work gloves to handle the situation, cause when disaster hits the nation, you and your family gonna need your medication. Antibiotics, aspirin, the chronic, even health foods like vitamins and garlic, pain relievers, inhalers and breathers. And make sure you got something that can take down a fever. A spray bottle of water with 10% bleach, so you can disinfect the objects you reach. And speaking of bleach, here's what I teach. Don't think that you could drink the water from the beach. You're gonna have to drink that water from your hood, and purify your water to make sure it's all good. Put things in order. Put 8 drops of pure unscented liquid bleach into the water. Use only 8 drops for every 1 gallon you working. You'll need about 5 gallons a person. With no water, things could get lethal. It's dehydration, not starvation, that kills people. So look for the water first. Don't be robbing and looting and stealing and killing. That'll only make things worse. Be smart, plan ahead, save some cash, a radio, some gas, and some blow-up beds. Keep your disaster kit high on the shelf with your weapons. You might have to defend yourself. Get a flashlight, chemical light sticks and whole lot, a compass, some dry food, maybe a road map. Don't forget things like peroxide and Listerine, bandages and antihistamines like Benadryl. So when things get ill, you will survive, cause you really got skill. You opened your eyes after you got in your list of supplies. Check your attitude, know that you gonna survive. Whatever might go down, we gonna survive that. Food, clothes, and shelter, we gonna find that. When you hear this sound, you know that I'm back. Hey, it's where I put your mind at.